Hi guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you guys how I process and ship my Etsy orders, as well as I want to try out this new platen I got for my Stahls A2Z. So let's go ahead and get started. For my t-shirts, I purchased the Bella Canvas 3001. I purchased them for adults, youth, as well as bodysuits. So I purchased those. All of my packaging materials will be down below for my polymailers, my wrap, all of those things. I like to utilize my iPad as well as my Explorer Air 2. So I've already got my designs here. So I keep these saved inside Cricut Design Space and I just search in the name. So I have them saved so I can just say, walk in the park and it'll pull these up. So I've got all three. This is like a mommy and me matching set. So I've got those. I've got my Caesar Easy Weed. I use between the Caesar Easy Weed as well as the Stahls Ultra Weed. The links from where I purchased my HTV as well as my t-shirts will be down below. So this is the platen I'm trying out today. This is a 6x10. So if you guys didn't know, I now use the Stahls A2Z, and this is a 15x15, and you can switch out platen. So I'm super, super excited about that. So let's go ahead and get started. First up, let's measure our t-shirts and onesies and our youth t-shirt. So I just measure these using my Cricut ruler and then I put those in. So every time I measure those designs, I'm going to move one out of the way. I'm going to input that into the app over here on my iPad. And that way we're just completely going to be ready to go. So I'm just one by one, I'll measure them, double check myself, visualize. Now I've been doing this so long that I pretty much can eyeball it. Not all t-shirts I do the same. I may do an adult 10 inches and then the next week I'm doing 9 inches. It just depends on the design. So I don't like to teach in the way of every single adult t-shirt this size, I do it 10 inches. I don't. It depends on the design. Do I want it big and bulky? All of that kind of stuff plays a factor. So I just kind of play around with it. I measure out what I think will look best. This will come natural with you over time. Next up, I'm just double checking my mats, figuring out what size HTV I need, and we're going to turn mirror on. On my Cricut Explorer Air 2, I'm turning my dial to iron on. All right, so now we're ready to size down our HTV. So I purchased mine by the rolls because you're gonna save money that way. So if you have a small business, you definitely wanna purchase your black and white, whatever colors you use the most in the rolls. And then you wanna cut it by the shortest length. So say for example, this design is an 8x10. I would cut it by the 8 because we know they're 12. Does that make sense? So that way you're saving material. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trim all of those down. And I highly recommend that you use a paper trimmer. It's so much easier and you're gonna get a straight edge every single time. Next up, I'm going to load these on my Cricut mat. I use either the green or the blue. I mostly use the blue, to be honest. It just comes off so much easier. So I'm just going to load these one by one, let it all cut out. Now, if you're doing multiple shirts, while the next one is cutting out, you can start weeding the first one. So that's what I like to do. You're going to save time because if not, you're wasting time in between. So definitely go ahead and start weeding the next one. So I've got it ready to go. A tip for me is invest into a pen. So I love my Cricut weeding tool still today, so I still use that. But if you guys have not tried a pen, you definitely have to check it out. It's a needle inside this pen and it retracts, so it's going to protect the tip. And it weeds like a dream. So it really can get into those intricate spots and all that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you, you're going to absolutely love it. If you guys order from 143 Vinyl, which is down below, if you spend more than $100, they're $5. If not, they're $11. I think $11.99. Super affordable though, and they'll last you forever. Trust me, I have every single color. All right, so I've got those. Now another tip is you can weed this on top of your heat platen. Just heat it up a little bit. See how that changes color? Because it's warming it up, and boom, it pills so much faster. Now Caesar and Stahls Ultra Weed, those both already weed like a dream anyways. But this will definitely speed it up. So if you have hundreds of shirts or 50 shirts, 20 shirts, whatever, it'll definitely make it go a whole lot faster. All right, so I'm on my last one here for the set. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this and push everything out of the way, replace my plastic on my cutting mat right away. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go back to home so that way I can see my designs. This is another tip. If you're weeding, you can go back home so you can see where to weed out your design. All right, so next up, now that I've got everything weeded out, I'm gonna go ahead and take my lint roller on every single t-shirt and get off any sort of lint. Now, I do this with sublimation, but I also do it with my t-shirts because sometimes you can put down HTV and there will be a piece of lint that gets caught behind that, and you don't want to do that. That's a mess. You're going to have to trim it away. So quickly go over your t-shirts with a lint roller. Trust me, it's going to be worth it. All right, we're ready to press. First one, I'm using a pressing pillow. You can get these at Stahls. I'm obsessed with these things. I had never used them up until this point. I used my Cricut pad, but these are fabulous that you don't even have to adjust your thing because these ones just suck right down, but these are going to avoid those seams. So for example, this is a youth t-shirt. So if I didn't use the pressing pillow, I'd have all those seams. I don't have to worry about it. Now, once again, I've been doing this long enough that I can eyeball where this is going to go. I just fold my design in half so I can see where the half mark is. I'm going to use my tag to center that, and I'll come about 2 to 3 inches down. With the youth t-shirt, you want to be maybe 2 inches down. Don't go down too low or you're going to be on the belly. So that's something you'll learn right away. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cover this with a parchment paper. So I'm just making sure that everything is on top of that pressing pillow. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that with a parchment paper, close it, and I've got it set at 316. It's actually around, 312, 315, somewhere around there for around 12 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off that plastic just like that. So I really love these pressing pillows. Like I said, I don't even have to adjust my press. They just kind of suck right down. So there's our first one. It looks good. So I'll go ahead and fold this, get it out of our way, and we're going to move on to the next. The next one is the adult t-shirt, and I'm going to go ahead and get it up there the same way. We're going to pull out the moisture first. You never want to skip this step. Always pull out your moisture first. You can ruin your HTV, and your shirt will not last as long. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take this back to the table this time. And I'm going to go ahead and get my design on over here. So if I can't really see where youth is smaller so you can see what you're doing, I'll actually put it on the table over here. So that way I don't burn myself under the press if you were using a clamshell. And plus, it's just so much easier to line it up and be able to visually see when you're working with a bigger t-shirt. So for example, this one's a large, but when it comes to large, extra large, mediums, any of those, you really want to visually see. So I can do that, 3 fingers down, we're good to go. I can now take it back to the press and we can now press it. So that's another tip from me. So I'm going to go ahead and just load it, making sure that my design is on the platen. So I don't have to make sure that my shirt is straight because my design it's stuck there. And then I'm going to cover it with the parchment paper and I'm going to go ahead and close it. So I've already adjusted my dial to where it needs to be. And then I'm going to close that again for around 12 to 15 seconds. Go ahead and remove that and we're going to peel it right up. So this is a hot peel and this t-shirt is good to go. So this stuff will last a long, long time. So here is the large t-shirt. Looks good. You see how that big design, every design is kind of different. So I'm keeping these nice and big and chunky. So now we are ready for this baby onesie. So you're either going to need a pressing pillow or like for me, for example, I'm going to change out here in a second. So I'm going to show you pressing it with a pressing pillow. So if you were using, I have a smaller pressing pillow here. I would be able to avoid all these seams. So I'm going to get it where my design's going to go. And then I'm going to go ahead and press it, pull out any sort of moisture once again. So this is an option. So you can use a pressing pillow or now there's these platens. So if you were doing solely onesies or if you wanted to knock out all your used shirts and all of your baby body suits at one time, you could switch this out and do all those. So it's really easy. There's a knob underneath. You're just going to undo it and then you're going to be able to pull off that top platen. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use some heat resistant gloves because the platen is still a little bit warm from where we were pressing. Now, if you did this right away, you wouldn't have to do that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set it out of the way. So it just pulls right off. So once you undo that screw on the bottom, which is still sitting there underneath my press, it'll stay in place. So then we're going to go ahead and load this. You can load it in this direction. So if you were doing the onesies, boom, this way, or you can load it in this direction. And that way if you were doing pockets or whatever. So I'm really loving this one. So I'm going to go ahead and load it in this direction right here. And then all you're simply going to do is hand tighten this. You don't want to over tighten, just enough where it tightens up and you're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go ahead and load. We're first going to pre-press. Go ahead and get that platen warm as well as adjust it. So now since we have a new platen on there, we need to adjust that pressure and all that stuff. So I'm doing that now. Once again, this was my first round using this platen. I'm really, really excited about it. It worked out good. All right, so now we're ready to go. Here's our baby onesie, and I've already pre-pressed it when we did the pressing pillow. Now we're going to go ahead and fold it in half, and I'm going to go ahead and get this on here. Now I definitely could have done this at the press because there's plenty of space to do that on there, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here. With the baby onesies, you want to come down a baby on an inch. You know, an inch, maybe a little bit less than an inch. You want to keep it nice and high because once again, you don't want to end up in the belly. That's a problem when you first start out making t-shirts. Trust me, been there, done that, years and years, trust me. And I still every once in a while end up I get there somehow because you'll get a design that has like, say for example, Mickey ears and I'm coming down on too low on Mickey. Either way, you get the point. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this where it needs to be, and we'll be ready to go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take this back over to the press. We're going to load it on our little tiny baby press. Like I said, this is the 6x10. And I'm going to go ahead and load this right on top of here. Just making sure everything's on the press, everything's nice and even, looks good. And then we're going to go ahead and, now I normally would put a piece of parchment paper, but I forgot. So definitely make sure you do that. And then I'm going to shut it, same pressure, same heat temperature, all that kind of stuff, same time. And then hot peel, gonna peel it away just like that. How easy is this to press these onesies? I'm super, super pumped about it. I'm so excited about this platen. All right, so there you have it. So now that my t-shirts are done, everything is good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys putting the platen back. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this one. Once again, just unscrewing it. Now the very first time that you ever undo your platen, it is a little bit hard. So I actually had to get my husband to undo it the first time. And then I'm able to now, because like I said, you're just hand tightening. You're not over tightening, but when you first get it from shipment, it is quite tight. So you may need a little help to undo that. All right, so you're just going to tighten that back on there. Like I said, you're not going to over tighten. You're just going to make sure it's nice and tight. And then at this point, I need to readjust that pressure and all of that kind of stuff so it's ready for this platen. It's that easy to swap them out, so really excited. Now, I do believe there is maybe another 1 or 2 platens that will fit on this, so I'm really, really excited about that. All right, so now we're ready to package our t-shirt. So this is the super cute set that I sell over there on Etsy. It's a dad could wear it, mom could wear it, and I do like basic colors. So I've got white, gray, and black. So you have 3 colors to choose from. If I was doing the black t-shirts, I would obviously do this in white HTV. So I just simply fold mine up like this. You can definitely purchase t-shirt folders. I'll have them linked down below. You could get those. I definitely may start investing in those. There's actually even a whole t-shirt process too, where it folds it for you and then it puts it in the bag, because a lot of people do these in clear plastic bags. I personally do not do that. I actually wrap mine in tissue paper. I just like the way that it looks. It looks more boutique, if you will. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take my tissue paper here. Once again, where I purchased these from are linked down below. Now, when it comes to my large t-shirts, I completely unfold the tissue paper, and then I just kind of fold it. Now, when it comes to my hoodies, I kind of do them at an angle. Just do whatever works best for you. So I'm just going to fold it up nice and neat as I can. You just want to make your packaging look clean cut. Now, remember, packaging is everything. It's going to make people want to come back. And this really does not cost as much. I have a ton of it. I just purchased it right away, and I have a lot of it on hand ready to go. So then for the kids ones, I'm going to do them in a separate color just to kind of make them pop. And for these ones, I actually keep them folded in half because these are smaller. And so I'm just going to go ahead and get it on there and do the same thing. And these I can pretty much just fold and fold. And then my stickers I purchased on Amazon. Once again, I'll have those linked down below. You could definitely make them yourself with your Cricut. And they are just, I think they say you made a great choice, or whatever it says. It's super cute. But I'm going to go ahead. I just pop those on there. Or you have great taste, I think is what it is. So I've got thank you stickers, and I've got those just to kind of, that's what I close it with. Instead of closing it with tape, I have these super cute stickers. And then also for my packaging, I throw in a pair of earrings. Sometimes I do those little nail wraps. It's stuff that's super cheap that you can throw in here. Just makes them feel extra special, just to make that packaging make people want to come back. And then I've got thank you for your order, some little stickers for the kids. And then I've got my poly mailer. Once again, those are down below. And then I say thank you, XOXO Crystal Ann on here. I make it personalized. I've covered the address over here, and then I fold it and I pop that down inside. And then I'm just going to load all of this inside of my poly mailer, and then I'll put all of the everything inside of it. And then at that point, I've already printed out. I order my shipping labels through Etsy, so I just print them right there and I'll pop it on. I didn't show you guys that part because obviously their address. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.